you don't like fear for your life going to Tijuana and stuff like that, or
not in what way, or
I don't know. Just some certain people, will think that you speaking on stuff that's going on in there, kind of in turn. You're not giving no name. You're not saying anything like that. So some people would, like I said, everybody will stereotype and think, well, this is lo que va a pasar.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's just
yeah. Well, I'm clean. Like I don't do nothing illegal. Like I don't run a red light. I just. My relationship with those people is strictly like friendship. Like, hey, wait, viste el juego? Hey, feliz cumpleaños. Like, you know what I mean? Because like a lot of these dudes I grew up with, you know what I mean? They're just from like the hood next to mine or whatever. And so our conversations aren't even like, hey, who's winning the war? You know what I mean?
I think with his situation, it's kind of how like I will go on certain podcasts and speak on my hood here, this hood over here, but I'm not.
And then also, like, I'll run it by him. Like, I remember the first time I got invited to a big podcast, the concrete one.
Yes.
And there, Danny was like, hey, I want to know about this and that or whatever. And I was like, I'll hit your back. So I called them and I was like, hey, I'm about to do this big podcast and, it's a cool thing for me, whatever, this and that. They kind of want to know about you guys, though, like about the life and, what some of the shit we did and stuff like that. And I was like, well, they're going to tell me to keep it quiet, whatever. They're like, hey, diles que somos la mera verga. Tell them that we're, you know what I mean? Like, all that shit. So they were like, diles que acá, and then we got this and we got that and blah, 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 and this and that. So I'm like, I mean, at the same time.
Different world, homie.
At the same time, it's like.
Different world.
That's not the only team that's playing, so I gotta be careful. You know what I mean? So I don't really do the. I'm not really cheering up for them, but I just have the permission to say it as it is. You know what I mean? And as long as I don't fucking oversay or undersay, as long as it's real, because the compliments I get from these people, like even like big dudes that call me that I never knew till now, they're like, hey. What I like about your shit is that it's real way. You're not trying to like, you're not washing it or nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not, no te pones de más, güey.
Ni le quitas ni le pones. You know what I mean? The way it was, just keep it like that and cool way. I like it. I fuck with it. So at this point, way, I'm doing lives and I have these people watching me to, like, some people be asking questions and then like, hey, diles que somos la mera verga. Tell them that we're, you know what I mean? Like, all that shit. So they're like, diles que acá, and then we got this and we got that and blah, 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 and this and that. So I'm like, I mean, at the same time.
Different world, homie.
At the same time, it's like.
Different world.
That's not the only team that's playing, so I gotta be careful. You know what I mean? So I don't really do the. I'm not really cheering up for them, but I just have the permission to say it as it is. You know what I mean? And as long as I don't fucking oversay or undersay, as long as it's real, because the compliments I get from these people, like even like big dudes that call me that I never knew till now, they're like, hey. What I like about your shit is that it's real way. You're not trying to like, you're not washing it or nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not, no te pones de más, güey.
Ni le quitas ni le pones. You know what I mean? The way it was, just keep it like that and cool way. I like it. I fuck with it. So at this point, way, I'm doing lives and I have these people watching me to, like, some people be asking questions and then. I know those fools watch, but they never comment. But then sometimes they can't help it, way. So they comment, way, and then they comment something, and I'm like, hey, way, I know who that is. Hey, you know who's watching? I always tell them like, hey, there's always people. I always tell them like, I can't lie about shit because they're watching. I'm literally part of, you know what I mean? Not part of them, but they're. I'm like a message away to be like, hey, wait, you were lying, brother. Like, you know, they can talk shit to me about that too if I'm lying.
People care what you're saying.
Everybody in America believes that. Any person that is selling drugs, that is moving anything, whether it's an ounce, 2 ounces, from Tijuana over to the United States, is part of the cartel.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now there's like a lot of freelancing to put it in words. You know what I mean? You don't have to be involved with them. You might even just buy shit from them, but
like indirectly.
Indirectly, stuff like that. You might have your own thing if you keep it low key, you know, because if one of them knows, they might try to pull you in, you know. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you're moving like small things, like I don't know, let's say you move like 1 key a month,
right?
You know, you can make good money, like to be like a good living, you know, a little extra check, and nobody's gonna know really, you know, you still be out the way, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of
they're not even worried about it.
Yeah, you know, like or I don't know, get like a pollo through once in a month, type so you know what I mean? Like,
so you can the same thing with the pollo. You can just take one at a time.
Yeah. It's a lot of micro, you know, micro traffic.
Well, that's crazy because, like, to your point earlier, what you're saying with stigmas, like when you're asking the question about like how is it that they allow some convos to happen? Like even me, I have this stigma. I go right away to like American me. right?
Yeah.
What happened
Yeah,
with the old boy?
yeah.
Now, obviously, he shouldn't have said the shit, that
Yeah.
part. But that's what I would be like. Damn, fool. Every time I do a pod, let me run this.
Yeah, well, look, once they get caught, they're doing life.
Yeah.
Or 20-year deal. You know what I mean? So like, they're already. It's like telling them, like, hey, wait, another fool wants to kill you. They're like,
Okay, another one. Put it on the list, bro.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey,
They're already living like that, bro.
That's the real crazy life over there.
Crazy. But that's the part that, like, when we have our stigmas, is like the story you're saying. Actually, a question I want to ask, just to bring it back to what you initially asked, when you saw that shit going down with your pops as a kid, like you initially asked the things that you saw right growing up. What were you thinking, like when you seen pops in that moment? Because we don't think. Nobody here's thinking those things, you know.
To be honest with you, I was always like a kid. Like I never wondered more to that point. You know, I never asked.
It just happened. You moved forward.
It's just you're growing up with that violence, and then so it like shit starts being like normal.
Yeah,
right.
Maybe you know what I mean. Yeah. So I never really
Thought it was out of the norm.
Like. I think that the thing that hit me the most was like the domestic violence part. That's where I,
Definitely,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Because I was more
That hits close to home.
Yeah,
with
that's
everything
close to
involved.
home.
Yeah.
But when I saw shit like that, even like I said, my grandma and mom being arrested and shit, like I didn't really like.
Couldn't process it the same way at the time.
Yeah, exactly. So you start growing up, and then like I said, I like to read a lot of books and stuff that. And now I'm out in the streets because I'm very creative, and now I'm doing graffiti. I do murals and shit like that. So not really like tagging and shit. I do like murals, but at the same time, I like the street life. I like the.
Well, the mural is part of that. It's
the art.
Yeah, exactly. So, but like out there, there weren't really gangs. We were more tag banging. Like we had a crew, but we fought with everybody. We fought like it was a gang. We were like we moved like it was a gang. You know what I mean? But we were taggers. We all like to tag.
Well,
we all like,
tag banging. Yeah.
But we out there. That's how it went. Those were the gangs.
Hey, so talking about moving pollos, did you ever move pollos?
That was why I got indicted. Yeah,
that was is that what you got popped for?
Yeah.
What was the average amount of people you take over? And I was very curious to know, is there a certain time you like better as far as weather? Like, is it tougher in the heat or is it tougher in the cold time to take them over?
Nah, I think your question is it tougher in the morning or is it tougher in la tarde?
Oh, okay.
That's game right
Okay,
there.
but that's what you guys were crossing from Tijuana.
Yeah, and we're crossing them through. I know the exact same number of people I did because the lady was keeping count, the other lady that was catching, but I don't really. You know what I mean? Yeah, because she had books for everything. So every time I delivered.
Over 100 or under 100?
Yeah, but
No. Allegedly.
This was back in 2009, so I don't think,
Allegedly.
I don't think that.
Allegedly.
How many tomatoes came over, bro?
Yeah, so the way the guy I worked with did it was with